Trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Well, Trackies, Brianna Liston is coming, and she ain't just coming for a regular old spot. No, she's coming for a spot on the Jamaican Olympic team in the sprints, the 100 meters to Paris 2024. Trackies, her coach says she is ready, and this is one of the goals this season. Now, in a Sports Max interview, Trackies, Coach Shaver had this to say. She's going to be ready, and she's going to be able to run at the Jamaican trials and try to make the Olympic team. That's just one of the goals now. If we don't make it, it's not the end of the world. She's young, but the reality of it is that I think the experience of her running in the under 20s was a real positive thing. And so I think the younger you are to make an Olympic team and to be able to perform at Olympic level, it is one more year of experience you have for the next time it rolls around. Now, trackies, just in case you were thinking, okay, Coach Shaver is looking at Brianna Liston and saying you're a phenomenal 200-meter sprinter, so definitely head to the Jamaican trials and try out there. Stick a pin, because the 100 meters is in the conversation. No, the coach had this to say: I wouldn't eliminate the 100 meters from the possibility either. And I know there are some great 100-meter people. Now we have to stop Coach Shaver right there for a second and say, hey, coach, they're not just some great 100-meter people in Jamaica, but some of the greatest ever to exist in the event are currently partaking in the 100 meters in Jamaica at this time. So yes, the greatest to ever do it are all here in Jamaica. But anyway, I digress. Let's continue. But I think she can be in the mix too, just based off that 7.07. You heard that, trackies? Just based off that 707, Coach Shaver knows Brianna Liston will be in the mix. And I thought to myself, now, ain't this interesting? I'm gonna have to do a flashback, because the last time I checked, I did a video earlier this week saying that, hey, trackies, we are going to see drastic improvement from Brianna Liston this season. Those personal bests that you see her have, trackies, they're gonna get slashed, and they're gonna get slashed by huge increments, trackies. But don't just take my word for it. Take a listen. In my opinion, let's just take a look at Brianna Liston, what has happened to her. So she went to Champs 2022, right? And had a masterful run, finishing second behind Tina Clayton. And from that moment, trackies, I hope some of y'all remember, I've been saying every time I do a video, in my mind, Brianna Liston is a sub 11 athlete. I have been saying that from then. There's no way, shout out, that I have no doubt in my mind that Brianna Liston is indeed a sub 11 athlete. Unfortunately, 2023 seems as though it was a year for her to just build that body, so we didn't really see her run as much. So with that said, trackies, what I think we're going to see happening with Brianna Liston is not just her saying, okay, we're going from point A to point B. No, that's not what I expect. I'm expecting us to see Brianna Liston just slash a huge chunk, just like what we saw in the 60 meters. I expect her to slash a huge chunk out of her 200-meter personal best. So when I consider, what she would be capable of, or what in my mind she's going to be capable of this season, I'm expecting 22 lows. So I'm not expecting anything high, no high 22, anything to be challenging Brianna Liston this season at all over that 200-meter distance. All right, so trackies, there you had it. So yes, I already pinpointed that based on this 707 that we're seeing from Brianna Liston, she is going to come out and utterly dismantle the field come 2024. Now, clearly I was talking about the collegiate ranks, but the coach has definitely jumped way ahead and is like, listen, we're past collegiate level and now we're focusing on the Jamaican Olympic team. At this Brianna thing there, that's pretty much what he's saying. Now, trackies, of course, he was also asked about her performances in 2023. Now, he said it was a year for Brianna to transition pretty much. This is what he said. Most people know that but I'm pretty patient. When I don't feel like somebody is really prepared to perform at an adequate level just based on training, I just don't race them. So last year, I just felt like it was a big transition for Brianna. But I think that as we went through the year with her, she adapted more and more to what we were asking her to do. And I think she's just grown from there. So, Trackies, that is what he had to say. So, based on her growth in that transitional period last year, guess what? Coach says her fall training was great. So he knew, or all the staff there knew, including the teammates, they all knew that Brianna Liston was coming for this 2024 season. And that 707, of course, was no surprise. But track is, let's zone in a little bit on the possibilities for Brianna Liston heading to the Jamaican trials. Yes, I know it's early days yet, but still, let's take a look at the possibilities for Brianna Liston at that Jamaican trials over the shorter sprints, the women's 100 meters and 200 meters. And I ain't gonna lie, track is, the possibilities may be greater than you are thinking. No, when I look at that women's 100-meter field, the thought process, for Jamaicans is it's pretty much sewn up with the likes of Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price, Elaine Thompson-Hira, and Shericka Jackson. But I've said if any one of them slip, they could potentially slide. No, sliding, let's look at those possible times. No, track is, I'm looking at that second field and that second tier of athletes that we have here in Jamaica. I'm expecting quite a few of them to break into 10-8 or solidify themselves into 10-8. But track is, based on this 707 that I'm seeing from Brianna Liston, and of course, thinking about her trending, track is, y'all know, I've said this time and time again, Brianna Liston in my mind was already a sub 11 athlete. Yes, it's not on paper, but that's the trending I'm working from. So we saw Tina Clayton run a 10.95, and Brianna Liston in my mind is someplace off there, or was someplace off there a couple years ago. Yes, 2 years ago she was already a 10.9 athlete in my mind. So with that said, what will Brianna Liston be doing this year? Track is, look here, based on what I'm seeing, we could be seeing a low 10.8 or even a high 10.7. Yes, I didn't stutter. That could be what we're seeing from a Brianna Liston this season. And she could very well leapfrog herself over all that second tier athletes that are lining up. We're talking about the Natasha Morrisons, the Kemba Nelsons, the Brianna Williams, everybody that's coming, the Kevona Davises. Don't get mad if I leave off a name trackies, but Brianna Liston could leapfrog all those athletes that are waiting in the wings and be the number one challenger for a spot against the big three. Yes, you heard me. Brianna Liston is putting herself right in the mix. Now, trackies, let's look at that women's 200 meters because it gets even better there, because one of the big three will not be participating in that 200 meters event. But this is what I'm going to say about that. I believe that the big two that will be entering, and I mean Elaine Thompson-Hira, Shericka Jackson, those two athletes will have to make sure that they're in sub 22 shape for trials. Yes, I didn't stutter. Sub 22 for trials. Now, Shericka Jackson has pretty much always ran sub 22 in these recent formative years in the 200 meters. But for Elaine Thompson-Hira, usually when she goes to the trials, she doesn't run her best 200 meters. She does enough to make it. And her enough has not been a sub 22. This is the year for Elaine Thompson-Hira to make sure that she runs sub 22. Why? Because I already said, based on what I'm seeing here, I see Brianna Liston running low 22s. And I ain't just talking about 22 twos. No, 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 no. I'm talking about 22 O's. That is pretty much what I'm seeing from a Brianna Liston. So the big guns have to make sure that they turn up prepared in that women's 200 meters, because Brianna Liston will be coming, Kevona Davis will be coming, Lene will be coming, Brianna Williams will be coming, Natalia White will be coming, Ashanti Moore will be coming, Sasha Lee will be coming. All of these athletes will be lining up to grab a spot on the team. And I think that 200 meters is where a lot of them are going to butter their bread. But anyway, trackies, sound off in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Coach Shaver says Brianna Liston is ready, and not just ready to take over the NCAAs, but ready to take over the Jamaican scene as well and snatch a spot on the team to the Olympic Games. Sound off, as I said, like the video and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.